as we are once again alive upon the internet. Yeah, let's make sure that we are in all ways with bit rates and titles and categories and with the audio running. It's all looking good. And yeah, let's actually jump in. As the title says, we're gonna do a little bit of recording and then move to third account and spend some time there. Because I do want to get the payday event on that account. Might as well.
We still haven't located the mobile
Will also give me something to do.
It has to be there.
But first, the recording. Yeah, we're gonna record a little bit of the Eclipse Masterclass. So we're also loading up on this character. And game time is it? Okay, it's close to morning. Actually, that'll work out. That doesn't percent matter. The world is set to. Let's actually go be over here. I'm gonna use the same place I used in the other masterclass. Well, actually, before we go, is AR somewhere? LMG's there. Those zones, of course, don't show. Yeah, maybe I can see it on a. I remember one of the Discords had it. I don't remember which one it was. Oh, we do have ARs in Brooklyn. Okay. Yeah, we'll farm some Brooklyn later then. Maybe as well. But yeah, first let's go over here. And this will work out as well when the sun comes up. We'll use that maybe for the intro. Sun's gonna be that way to that way, right? So should maybe actually just, yeah, seeing as it's becoming light. So I should go to Brooklyn and back just to reset the weather. Hopefully we can make some better weather happen. And there you go. How about Nepad Turmoil? How about them? Asking if they're good. They're a little bit too good. They kind of had fixed part of them, but then they broke them again. So I generally just don't use them because I consider them in a broken state. At current time, because they're double dipping again on Glass and Detox. Their interaction with Determined is the Turmoil is a bit much. It's a bit way too much. And hey there, Ans. Far away. No, that way. Still somewhat rainy weather, but that's fine. This is also the place I used for the other masterclass. So that's why I want to use this one again. It would be nice if it was a little less foggy and stuff. Start loading a different character just to completely reset this character's session. And then see if that helps out. I wanted to load in a different character. Although just resessioning should be enough as well. Or, because the weather isn't fixed. Like daytime and stuff is.
Safe area entered.
So you guys see. Firing in the distance. Let's do that. Those guys out of the way. Yeah, gonna make this guy look good. Kind of like the fog, but it's also not great. Maybe if you did more. No, just aim where I'm aiming, yeah. Because also, yeah, the sun's gonna come that way, right? And then that way. And let's try going like super wide. I don't hate that. Yeah, let's go over here. Let me already as well make sure that the folder is working, that we're gonna send the files to. And yeah, masterclass. For today's video, I want to give a masterclass on what I kind of thought about what I want to say and stuff. That kind of stuff is I don't script it, but I do have kind of in my mind what I wanna have. That's not too bad. Yeah, let's see if we can knock one out in one go. Also, wait, I need to be here, so we can go here. Yeah. Yes. Let's try a take. I'll likely need a few. There's a thing on my monitor. Let's get that off. Yeah. Hi, I'm IKEA, and for today's video, I want to give a masterclass into fire eclipses. That is to say, eclipses set up to make use of fire instead of foam, because there's definitely two main ways of running eclipse, one being fire, one being foam. This one is about the fire. This is also kind of a redo of one of my earliest videos, which was the Fire Eclipse Masterclass. That one is now a little bit out of date, so we're kind of redoing it, bringing it up to date, and with all of the new tools and even brands and such that are now available to us. And yeah, this video will be a pretty long one, as all masterclasses are, as we'll go over several builds, in this case 4 or 5, I believe. And in doing so, we're going to explain quite a bit, show a lot of gameplay as well to go with it. Everything will be timestamped down below. We'll be going into 3 chapters. In the first chapters, I'll lay out the builds and also show their build pictures and such, and discuss basically the core of how to put the build together. In the second chapter, we'll go into some of the tactics that are really handy to know for this outside of gameplay, basically, just to show it off and make sure everybody is on the same page. And then in the third chapter, we'll take it into some gameplay and show it in action. And while I'm playing, I will discuss what I'm doing and what I'm thinking to give you the tools to run these builds if you decide to put one together yourself. So yeah, let's go get started. Was that a one take? That was actually... I stumbled like in one spot, but I feel as well that was like just as good as it's going to get anyway. I want to give a masterclass into fire eclipses. That is to say, eclipses set up to make use of fire instead of foam, because there's definitely... Oh, that was a little bit like double. I was like, how many builds are we discussing actually? I haven't decided yet, actually, have I? I still have like multiple build pictures open. So let's have... Actually, we need the recommended folder as well. Yeah, we need actually this as well, separately by itself. Let's do that first then. Let's start by introducing the build collection. For those maybe unfamiliar with it, I have a whole build collection with all of these builds in there. And especially today, we'll be looking at eclipses, of course. I'll be linking to several build pictures, and they'll be following the naming scheme of the build collection with a number before a dot, a number after the dot, so you can find them pretty easily also without even the links in the build collection. There's also an Eclipse recommended folder in the build collection, and we'll link to that one separately as well. There'll be a few builds that we might pull from there as well, as they are a little bit of offshoots that we aren't using in the main collection, but my voice didn't want to keep up there. Also, I kind of lost it there. Let's try again. Oh, shit. Don't hit F7 there. I always forget. Let's start by... actually... No. That, yeah. And let's do that by starting with the build collection itself. I have a whole build collection, for those maybe unfamiliar with that. I'll link to the build collection and then also to the build pictures we'll be using for today. Everything will be linked in the description, so you can go directly to the build pictures. There's also an Eclipse recommended folder that we'll link to. We might show some of these, as these are builds that sometimes some of them are not in the build collection themselves, and these folders are here to kind of highlight some other ways that we can set it up. Today, we'll be focusing especially on fire eclipses, as we discussed, and that, of course, will mean that we'll go over especially some of the main setups we can go for it. We'll, for instance, also showcase a glass version that exists for it, and then also some offshoots and some maybe even starter versions. I don't know where I'm going with that. Let's try again. I should just not go into ramble mode and just cut it off somewhere. And let's do that by introducing the build collection first, as we'll be using several build pictures from here. The build collection is a whole Google folder filled with a bunch of build pictures. And we'll be linking to that and then also to the specific builds that we'll be discussing in today's video. There's also an Eclipse, a recommended folder. I'll link to that folder, and then also as well, we might pull a few builds from here, as there are several builds in these recommended folders that aren't part of the collection because they're kind of more out there ideas that aren't core ideas basically, but we'll show off a few of there as well. But this way, yeah, you can very easily copy exactly the builds that I'm talking about. Let's go and get started by looking at the builds themselves. That ending was weird. Let's go and, yeah, what? It's fine though. I think I'll keep that. So this can go into the Eclipse folder. This can go into the Eclipse folder. Yeah. Introducing the builds collection first, as you can get started by looking at the builds themselves. Yeah, let's go over here. And then chest was 10 to 15, right? Yeah. Making sure I have the numbers right. This one is, yeah, 30%, but this 10 to 15. And then, wait. So this was, yeah, radius and then diameter, right? I always forget if I'm using diameter, right? Geometry was never an... Yeah, the diameter is the full circle, right? Yeah. Just double checking before I say something stupid, because let's not say stupid things if we can avoid it. And yeah, let's go into Eclipse. And we'll start here by looking at a layout, the very standard layout for Eclipse. I basically call this layout the baseline. I will be using that term here, as this is 4 pieces of Eclipse here with the chest and the backpack, together with 2 other pieces to make it a 4-piece. Then we're putting in a piece of Electrique into there and using the Val mask. This is basically the very basic setup for a fire Eclipse. We'll be going into some other variants as well here and there, but this will be the baseline going forward. And Eclipse Protocol is a status effect based gear set. And this gear set is on 2 pieces, we get 15% status effect. On 3 pieces, we get 15% skill haste and 30% hazard protection. And on the 4 piece, we get the talent of this, which is indirect transmission. Your status effects now spread on kill to all enemies within 10 meters and refresh 50% of the duration. This on kill is from any source, so it doesn't need to be specifically you getting the kill or your status effects getting the kill. As long as the enemy dies while having a status effect from you, they will spread that. And then it will spread to all enemies within 10 meters. Here we're using the chest, which will increase that to 15 meters. And that is basically the most important thing about the chest, as that it increases the radius, and by doing so, makes a much larger diameter. Because, yeah, 50-meter radius from each enemy that dies, that's a 30-meter diameter, which is a pretty big circle around enemies. So you'll be spreading quite a bit. Then as well, that will refresh the percentage. So whatever you apply to the enemy, 50% of that will get carried over without the chest. And the chest actually takes that to 75% of the base. Every time that it jumps again, that base amount, of course, now moving to a secondary enemy will be 75%. Now going to another enemy, that will be 75% of 75%. So it diminishes as it moves along, making it shorter and shorter. Then the backpack that we have here will actually be that we amplifies all damage you deal to status affected targets by 30%. And this is basically an all-round amp, a damage from all sources. the way that, for instance, glass is as well. But then this is conditional, of course, to status affected enemies. This doesn't need to be your status effects as well, just any status affected enemy. And your increase of 30% applies to everything, including the vial ticks, including your fire, including your shooting. So this actually is a very important tool, and that's why for a Fire Eclipse, which is a damage dealing crowd controller, CC'er, for that we definitely want to use the backpack. And then the chest is somewhat optional. I will choose it quite often because it's a very strong tool, because especially that increase in range is very powerful. Anyway, we're cutting it there because we're going to cut a bunch just to not have to redo stuff. But I felt good about that. I felt fine. Anyway, we explained Eclipse. So now we go to Electric and Val. Yeah, we discussed all of Eclipse, right? How long was that? That was 253. Kind of curious how long this will become by the end of this. Because yeah, how long was the old Fire Eclipse Masterclass? Let's actually search that in this one. Right. Eclipse Masterclass. Or is this a build showcase? That's the Masterclass. 217 was the old timer there. So we'll see actually if we can keep it under that. A lot of it is the gameplay, especially, but also I feel there I can add quite a bit. We'll have to also go over a bunch of builds. So should I actually have this open? Because which ones do I have here? Oh yeah, so Banshee, the Technician version, and then Glass. I'll still be that, I think. And thank you, Trickster. Although, yeah, that's Twitch popping that up. I'm not per se celebrating it for myself. The affiliate thing. It was a good reminder of like, oh yeah, we've been affiliate for a while, which that I definitely appreciate. Yeah. So let's move on to. And alongside those 4 pieces of Eclipse, we then pair this, especially with an electric piece. This has on the 1 piece bonus status effect plus 10%. This can also be Golan, and that is what, for instance, in the old Masterclass was the case because electric didn't exist yet. Now that we do have electric, which is a yellow core piece, we don't really need anymore to go for Golan, which was a pain in the backside in the past. On here as well, we want to have status effect, and then alongside of that, you can actually make a choice. And when we go into discussing some of the stats choices, skill haste is one of the things that all Eclipses kind of lack. So in my case, for instance, I generally go towards skill haste. But skill damage can also increase your fire damage. The way that both of these stats work is that status effect will increase the duration and the damage of the fire, and skill damage will increase the initial explosion of, for instance, the fire cam, and then the fire damage, but not the duration of it. So status effect by itself is overall much more useful to this build. We can pair that alongside of skill damage just to bump our damage a little bit more, but then we can also go skill haste to kind of get our charges back a little bit faster. Here I'm leaning towards skill haste because I do feel that that is the biggest drawback of Eclipses in general. We could also go, for instance, Hanayu or such, but I feel that the status effect at least is worth more than that. Then we're pairing it as well here with an exotic we'll be using a lot with this build, which is the Valmask. The Valmask aligns really well with this. It isn't per se that great of a damage increase, but it is still a decent chunk of increase. What the Valmask does is that status effects also apply a damage over time debuff for 10 seconds. And that damage is then based, especially here as well, on our concussion grenade damage, but also increased by your status effect attributes. This one is just to point out that that is the reason, for instance, as well, that we don't want to go for things like China Light, where that does increase our concussion grenade damage, which the vial is based on. But that increase is going to be less than what we would gain by just going electric and having our fire do more damage, which is our main tool. The vial is just a little bit of an extra bonus. When we do our fire, we're basically doing 300, 350k-ish on the fire end, and then our vial is sticking along with it for 80-ish k. It isn't completely non... Yeah, let's just actually talk about these parts, and then the stats we have to do later. Actually, I realize like we're going into the weeds way too early. Yeah, so let's read it there. And then with those 4 pieces of Eclipse, we'll be pairing that here with an Electric piece. Electric comes with a yellow core, making it much more easy to farm than the old one, which was Golem, which has the same status effect as its first brand bonus, and we will be using it for that status effect. Now, this piece can go into any of these pieces, and of course, there is also the Snow Machine, which you could stick into your knee pad slot, which is one of those just funny items where you can make some snow effects happen around people that you set on fire, which just does kind of look a little bit cool, so you could go for that on the knee pad slot. I generally go with the glove slot, and there is a reason for that, and we'll see that in some of the later builds. Together with that, we'll be going mostly with one exotic on all of these builds, and that is the Vial Mask. The Vial Mask, whenever we apply a status effect on the enemy, the status effects also apply a damage over time debuff for 10 seconds. This damage over time debuff is not the main concern of the build, but it is a nice bonus on top. We'll be doing 300 to 350k on our fire, and this Vial Mask adds another 50k-ish on top. Also, this has status effect as one of its stats as well, so it isn't, and it comes with a yellow core, so it doesn't get in our way either. Now, of course, this does come at the cost of, for instance, an extra skill haste that we could have there. And this, if we could have, instead of this hazard protection, we could have skill haste, I definitely would. But it is kind of fine, and it is one of the choices that we make, especially on a fire eclipse, just to do a little bit more damage. We'll cut it there again. And with those 4 pieces of do a little bit. And then now we go into this being the basic layout, and then any danders. And I would consider this the most basic layout for an Eclipse fire build. We are going with the chest, we are going with the backpack. Both have really good bonuses that, while we could, for instance, augment it with some high-end talents, and we will actually with some of the variants, for the baseline, for the most basic version of this, I would definitely go with the chest and backpack. And as we talked about, yeah, this electric piece can be, for instance, either then on the holster or knee pad as well. This, with its stats, then we are going for especially status effect. All our mod slots here are skill haste, as a skill haste is definitely the stat that this build lacks the most, as especially the main tool that we'll be using, the fire chem, you can definitely run out, and having a little bit extra skill haste for it does make a difference. Then on, for instance, the electric glove, we do have the option to, for instance, forgo 1 skill haste, because in the mod slots, of course, we don't have the option to put skill damage. And especially the difference between status effect and skill damage is that on, for instance, the fire chem, status effect will affect this burn damage, which is the damage that we do when we burn enemies, kind of indicative of that. And then as well, together with that, the burn duration. So it affects 2 stats that we really do care about. Skill damage, on the other hand, does affect the burn damage as well, but it doesn't affect the burn duration. The thing that it does affect on the chem then as well is that it affects this damage number. The first damage number there, that is the explosion damage from when you ignite the fire chem, which isn't that important of a factor for a build like this. It being higher is somewhat valuable, but yeah, especially status effect affecting both the burn damage and the burn duration makes it much more valuable. Then we could actually make the choice here to pump up our damage a little bit. Instead of taking the skill haste on this electric glove, we could go with skill damage and up our damage a little bit. I, though, prefer to have a little bit more skill haste, as then we can, I'd rather have the ability to just not run out of charges as readily and just get them back a little bit faster over that tiny little bit of damage. But both of them are actually pretty close to each other anyway. I would consider this the most basic layout for. Just making sure everything recorded correctly there. Yeah. I'll peek over here if I missed something. And there you go. It's a good build for the raid. Depends on which of the raids. For Dark Hours, you can go Striker. For Iron Horse, Dark Hours. Did I say Dark Horse? I think I did right. For Iron Horse, you prefer to have a high end. I'll link to the build collection. There is a recommended build list there. In the I should have actually just gone to the recommended build list. In the recommended build list, which if you go to that link, it'll take you here. In the recommended build list, towards more the bottom, there is some recommendations for raid. Yeah, for raid. But generally as well, check with whoever your raid leader is going to be. If you're like signing up for joining others, or if you're just LFGing or something, just check with the leader, basically. Hey, what would you want me to have? Because a lot of teams have different opinions on some of these. And thank you so much as well, Oliver. And indeed, we're anniversarying our affiliateness. But now I go for an exercise. So, yeah. The newest build list, what number have that? The newest build list. What do you mean newest build list, Sanders? What do you mean, like the newest build in there? Yeah, the numbers don't indicate anything about how new it is. The numbers are just the character and the slot. The loadout slot. Yeah, so we have that and that. Yeah, let's move on to skills and then weapon and then specialization. And then moving on to the skills, what I especially choose for Fire Clips is the Fire Starter Chem Launcher, the Fire Chem as I'll be calling it mostly, as this tool has one option that the Fire Sticky, which is one of the other choices you can go with here, doesn't have, and that is that it has an ammo number, basically. We have 8 charges for it, and especially once you kind of get good with the launching fire cams and landing them in spots and such, it is a much more powerful tool, I feel, than the Fire Sticky. Now, being a Fire Clips, we definitely want to have a fire skill. There are several, of course. The Fire Chem is definitely my preferred pick for this and will be my main tool all over these builds, basically. What we can go as well with, as we discussed there, is the Fire Sticky. The Fire Sticky has some traits that are really nice, which is that especially you can direct fire it at an enemy and really easily land it, and then you can ignite it as well. It does a little bit more damage, especially as well than the Fire Chem, mostly as well because of its expertise applying burn damage, where the expertise on the Chem Launcher actually is just damage, which means that it's just the initial explosion of it. This also doesn't have any damage on its initial explosion, meaning that you can't actually kill an enemy without setting them on fire. With this, if you hit an enemy, especially directly, you will set them on fire. And even if it is basically a very weak enemy, they will survive that. What we have as well, and should not be forgotten, is another tool, which is the Airburst Seeker Mine. I won't be using this one much at all, but do experiment with this. This has actually one of the highest fires and fire durations, especially of any of the tools that we have here. It is a little bit clunky to use. We'll show how to use it in the tactics section, but we will likely not use it in combat just because it is a little bit too clunky, and it has that same limitation that I feel that I dislike about the fire sticky as well, and that is that we can send one out basically every 17.3 seconds in the same way that, for instance, for a fire sticky, here it is also 17.8. With the chem launcher, we have multiple charges, and I'll show why that makes that much of a difference. We also have the fire turret, but if you're going to run the fire turret, X0 is going to be the much better choice than fire eclipses. And that makes it that, especially the main tool that I'll be using throughout this entire masterclass will be the fire chem. Then we can pair that with a lot of other things, either doing status effects purely and just CCing for a decent amount, or, for instance, one that I like quite a bit is the Stinger Hive, which applies bleed, which does some damage, and also its initial hits do decent damage. This can be a really good area denial tool. But then we can pick a lot of other things. So again, as well, having, for instance, an EMP sticky, this can be a very long duration EMP, and that is a very strong tool as well. The shock traps can be a really powerful tool as well, as they can basically deny an entire area to the enemy, and shock traps are fire and forget, which is also very handy. We do have the Jammer Pulse, which is also a great tool for applying EMP in a radius around you without having to aim and such, or even being able to see the enemy. Then, as we talked about, the Stinger Hive, which is generally my pick for a fire eclipse, and we'll show basically how I use this, as I use this often and actually very aggressively and try to do more damage with this. We also have, of course, foam, but we won't be able to take that alongside of fire. If we could, I likely would. I would take fire chem and a foam chem both together. That's also why they put them together, to kind of make it impossible to choose between the two. If you already want to, if you want to see how to use a foam chem and the builds for it, I do have a build showcase centered around foam eclipses on my channel. Foam eclipses are much more for, in my opinion, things like master missions and legendaries. They benefit quite a bit from foam eclipses, but they're quite a different beast. They don't play in the same way, really. Some skills do carry over between the two, but yeah, we're not concerning ourselves today with foam. We also have the Blinder Firefly. The Blinder Firefly can be a really strong tool. It is one of the very few ways that we have, especially on skills, the only way of applying blind. And a blind can disable an enemy much more strongly than most of the other tools that we have. An enemy that is foamed can still fire at allies. An enemy that is blinded will sometimes still fire at allies, but they will much more likely miss than they would be if they are just foamed. We already talked about the Airburst Seeker. The big bomb does apply bleed, but we won't be concerning ourselves with most of the other tools that apply bleed. While bleed is kind of useful to me in the Stinger form, in most of these other ones, bleed by itself is just too weak of a tool to use along with it. That would be all of our options that we can go with. We can also, for instance, go with Smart Cover alongside of our fire, for instance, much more so to buff our allies and such. And there is, of course, as well, something to be said, as we do have 6 skill tiers for going something like decoys and such as well. We won't be concerning ourselves too much with those kind of things. I'll be mostly running the fire chem. Together with that, I will also use some skills like the Banshee Pulse, which is tied to Gunner, and that I feel is a really good starter tool, but we'll discuss that when we reach that build. Okay, so that is skills. How long have we been going so far? 15 minutes. Okay. Okay, let me catch up here for a second. And yeah, for those coming in, welcome in. I'm recording parts of the redo, basically, of the Fire Eclipse Masterclass. So it's not built for all of the builds are basically up to date. Like there's no build in there that is, because it could even be, you know, from year one. Although nothing is in there. Like year one was different gear, but you could say like something like the Obliterate or like the high-end Reds, you know. It's basically since the start of year two, they're the same, but they're still been updated and stuff. Every build is up to date in there. Oh, the first time it took about an hour. The lead told me to run DPS, build either all Red Striker with Coyote. I'm pretty sure lead mods. That can work out well. Iron Horse, I feel, leans a lot more towards having high ends, especially. There's a little bit harder stacking, but also it's kind of fine. Like it's still, you know, if it's mostly a red build, it's gonna do fine. Oh, that's the same one. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, basically just check what, especially if you're kind of like signing up somewhere or you're gonna run with like clanmates or something, check what they want you to run. They'll likely have a specific answer for you. Which is be strap obliterate talent. Don't know how I'm gonna get the talent. What's the best brand? Talents aren't tied at all, like to like specific chests or anything. Like just if you just need it for your library or something, just farm chests until you get it. But there isn't like, you know, this brand has this talent more. All of the brands have all of the talents. Yeah, so yeah. So which one? So this in sync, capacitor, Scorpio, and then let's see. And weapon slot wise, we do actually want to use our weapons here and there. Even though our main tools are skills, I still really do use my weapons quite a bit. Especially the pairing that I have here in group settings, and especially the way that I run Eclipse, I'm mostly concerning myself with heroic groups, as that is kind of the place where I run this build the most. Especially in Legendary and such, a Foam Eclipse I feel works a lot better. And solo, I would just choose to run other things. While you can definitely run Eclipses solo, I like them a lot better in a group where they're supported, because this can take care of everything that is small, basically all of the reds and purples and such, but it doesn't really fare well against, for instance, Warhounds or things like heavies. So if we have support to deal with those, and I especially on the Eclipse then deal with all of the small things, they can just focus on the big things. Weapons-wise, here I'm going with a lefty. This is especially, of course, for this perfect sledgehammer. Perfect sledge, especially with the specialization we're mostly going to go with in group settings, which is survivalist. With the fire grenades, we can very easily make sledges happen, and we'll see that in the tactics and in the gameplay sections. And sledgehammer will give a 20% debuff on the enemies, which is basically an amplified damage to armor and armor plates. Here it says damage to armor. It isn't actually the damage to armor stat because it isn't additive to it the way it normally would be. Then together with that, Scorpio is one of my go-tos, as especially its debuffs that it can apply and actually the status effects as well. That 2-shot poison, while it was of course 1 shot in the past, but just shooting an enemy twice, especially any red or purple, will make them heave over here with poison, because when they get poisoned, they will basically stop in their tracks, making them a very easy target to follow that up with a fire cam. Together with that, then though, we also do disorient and some shock on the enemies, and if they die while that is active, that they will spread those as well. They are status effects applied by somebody running Eclipse, so they will actually spread. Making the Scorpio actually one of my preferred tools. But we should definitely also discuss that, especially for if you want to run this solo, and we'll discuss that as well in one of the build layouts. If you want to run solo, capacitor is a much better choice because it can deal decent damage, especially as it recoups some weapon damage from all of the skill tiers that we have. Together with that, you could also just see this as more skill damage as well. And as we discussed, skill damage will up our fire damage as well. And we could use that I tend to not, especially in group settings, just because I don't shoot enough to make this worthwhile, I feel. And I like having the Scorpio just as a utility and just disabling an enemy and maybe even extending that to multiple. Another option we'll discuss as well in the gameplay later on is using things like in sync or actually damage increases in general, as they can be pretty powerful, especially to reapply fire, as we'll show in the tactics section. An everlasting gaze with perpetuation can also be a really good tool. Here, for instance, I'm taking perpetuation on the pistol slot. Perpetuation and also future perfect can be really good choices alongside of these. And that's kind of the thing. You kind of have a bunch of decent choices and you have to kind of find which ones align the best with you. I like having perpetuation sometimes here and there on the pistol. I will trigger this and then get a much more powerful fire out starting a fight with, for instance. And I like having sledge especially as well, but in sync can be very strong. Future perfect can be very strong as well, and together with that the capacitor. So we basically have 6 choices to go, and then we have 3 slots to fill them with, and we'll kind of discuss all of them a little bit more in depth when we go to the gameplay side of things. Then for the specialization, especially the crossbow, the survivalist specialization is my go-to, especially in groups. It has a buff to enemies, or an extra buff to our allies, at least our subgroup, dealing enemy damage to enemies. Actually, we're gonna cut that there. I'm gonna cut it actually after the. I was thinking of cutting it there already, but I'm gonna cut this basically once that's also why I kind of left the gap there. I was actually gonna cut it after the weapons side of things. Then for the yeah, I'm gonna cut it there and just. Actually, for the specializations as well, we should just go to here. Then Countdown, or is the Summit better? Countdown is overall one of the better places for loot. So Summit isn't great for loot. So just go to some Countdown, set to targeted chests, and yeah, you'll likely run into some. And once you have one, you can just put that in the library you're there. And thank you, Dark King, for for the well wishes there. Yeah. Let's go. And there is one last slot we need to discuss, which is the specialization, of course. There are several specializations that provide very useful things for us. In a group setting, what I like to have is especially survivalist. The survivalist's buff to our allies is that whenever there is a status effect on an enemy from any source, including us, they will... actually, I should look where that is. Yeah, so this is this. I wanted to click it, but I was like, I didn't remember which one it was. So we have that, and then we have, yeah, the crossbow. On firewall, where's burn duration? This is burn duration. Yeah. And this Faraday is this one, right? Yeah. And then there is one last slot to discuss, which is our specialization. Specialization-wise, especially I'll be going with survivalist in group settings, and this will be my go-to specialization for this build. And that especially comes down to this 10% that group members, and when it says group members, this means just subgroup members. It isn't applying to ourselves, but all of our 3 subgroup members. So for instance, when we're in Countdown and there are 2 subgroups, it's only my subgroup. If we're in a 4-man, basically everybody but me. They get 10% damage to targets with status effect, and this is a 10% basically multiplier on top of everything else, and that can be very strong. Together with that, we get the flame grenades, which for the sledgehammer is a really powerful tool. With sledge, you have to hit the enemy with a grenade. The fire staying around actually counts as that. So when you toss a grenade, you can even toss it before the enemy spawn. Hold the lefty in your hand and you will apply sledge to everybody. Together with that, also we get the crossbow, and the crossbow is actually a really powerful tool for removing armor plates. Whichever armor plate that you hit with it, when the crossbow bolt explodes on the enemy, then that will actually deal heavy damage to that armor plate. For basically every non-named enemy, it will be a one shot to remove their armor plate. So for warhounds, for heavies, that can help quite a bit, and that makes it a very powerful tool. Alongside of some minor things like, for instance, when we are in cover, we gain 10% skill haste. I won't be using that much. I tend to run around way too much. The other big choice is to go for Firewall. Firewall has a burn duration, a plus 20% burn duration, which does apply to all of the burns, and including, for instance, the fire cams and such. And that can be a very good choice. This is definitely the one I would pick if I'm solo, because it has also some other traits where, for instance, when we armor break, this does apply a burn to enemies within 5 meters. And this can actually be very strong just if you are getting caught out by somebody rushing you. This will actually save your life, and this fire as well is a status effect and will spread on kill and such. The main flamethrower as well is a pretty powerful tool. We should also note that the fire starter, the special pistol, although in this case this is a sawn-off shotgun, this can actually provide a debuff on the enemy, letting you even burn things like warhands and heavies that, for instance, don't burn like the cleaner ones. To me, this is more trivia than useful. I just never use this, just because even if you set them on fire, they still burn just way too short, and it isn't that strong. This for solo would be my pick, is to go, if you do want to run it solo, and we will actually do that a little bit in the gameplay, we'll go with Firewall. There are other benefits as well from some of the other specialization. The main other one that we could go with, good name it. Okay. Oh shit! I accidentally hit the quit there instead of deltas. Yeah, let's load back up. Can I cut that somewhere? Because I kind of left the moment after Firewall. My pick is to go, if you do want to run it solo, and we will actually do that a little bit in the gameplay, we'll go with Firewall. There are other benefits as well from some of the other specialization. The main other one that we could play, we'll go with Firewall. There are other... Yeah, we can cut it there. Let me actually for this. So let's add to this cut after Firewall, because I'm going to forget. Normally I edit this. Firewall. Okay, and then... I feel I'm missing a segment there. Oh, this is the weapon segment. Okay. So this is... Get after weapons. Load up the character. And this is cut after Firewall.
Agent, we still haven't located the mobile shade server at Kenley College. It has to be there. We should investigate the site again. Check in with Torres when you're free.
Entering safe
Almost
area.
deleted the segment I had. Let me go here for a second and catch up for a moment. No, where go we? Something popped up there. Perfect timing, yeah. At least it was like not in the middle of a segment. Although I'm also okay redoing some of the segments. What was my last sentence there? And then there is one last specialization. The main other one that we could we'll actually do that a little bit in the gameplay. We'll go with firewall. There are other benefits as well from some of the go with firewall. Okay. And then gonna cut it there. Gonna see what's going on. The server's just struggling here and there. I've had some just random deltas here and there as well. The weird thing is it seems to usually be in shared spaces and stuff, or safe spaces. Not so much in gameplay. Like I haven't had one in gameplay at all. I wonder if it has anything to do with like the storage or something. Actually, that was a short time also. Oh yeah, sometimes it goes like that. I haven't been like super often, luckily, at least for me so far. Yeah. Then we have also other special. No, that was way too soon after pressing the thing. I need a little bit of silence to kind of cut it in easily. And then there are other choices that we can go with as well, like Technician. Technician does actually have a few things that we can make use of on Eclipses, especially Faraday, where we can make ourselves and party members immune to disruption and shock. Can be very useful in missions like Black Dusk, or even in situations like for fighting Keener on Liberty Island, where he shocks everybody. We can use the Stinger Hive that we have, for instance, to provide us with some immunity from disruption and such. Then as well, of course, if we pick the skill damage here, that will just apply as skill damage on our build, and that will increase our damage a tiny bit. Not as much as the burn duration is useful, so if we're just going for like getting a little bit more damage out of it, we would lean much more towards that. The EMP grenades are also really great because we can provide, it's an easy way to get some EMPs going, and of course, when they are applied to the enemy and they die with it, that will spread as well. Also, the increased damage to drones and skill proxies and robotics is pretty nice, especially if we are applying some of that damage. Overall, though, it would be especially a choice against Black Tusk, but in general play, I will usually go with Survivalist. There is actually even something to be said, and we'll show a build with that as well for Gunner. And with Gunner, especially this Banshee Pulse is the reason we will go with it, together with the armor on kill that we get from it, where we can actually, this is from any source, and them dying to our fire can actually make for a pretty good starter build with fire. And that's actually one of the starter versions that we'll show pretty soon, as the Banshee Pulse is a very good tool that can provide disorient on the enemy, a pretty strong status effect, and it can go through walls and such, and that is actually really beneficial for people starting out, because with this you can at least put something on the enemy. Even if it isn't the strongest damage or such, you can just keep them disoriented and CC'd so that your allies can deal with them. Demo sometimes gets brought up in the discussion for Eclipses, and that is especially for the Val, because there is a component of increased explosive damage. So this is 10%. That does increase the Val's tick a little bit. I don't think that it is worth it overall, as getting that 10%, for instance, on status affected enemies is much more useful than having a little bit more Val tick. And if it's for solo, for instance, I would go with Firewall instead. Here, especially the having that immunity from one explosion every minute, that is actually the most useful thing here, but that still isn't that useful. So we won't generally go with Demo, nor will we go with Sharpshooter. In Sharpshooter, there's one good tool, and that is the Flashbang, a really good way to provide some blinding to enemies. And of course, for instance, yeah, last season we had the microwave coils setting things on fire. That made it, for instance, that we could use a tactician drone to set enemies on fire. There would be an eclipse fire, and that would spread. But Sharpshooter overall doesn't provide as much. So especially Survivalist is my pick for group settings. and then firewall for solo settings for certain situations like fighting Black Tusk, or if there's a bunch of EMP jammers, for instance, as well in Summit, then Tactician can be a choice, and Gunner actually makes for a pretty decent starter one. Yeah, so this one was that one, yeah. $320. So how much is this all together? This all together is review the playlist. Thank you. This is already 26 minutes, which yeah, sounds about right. It is a masterclass. It's gonna take a while. How long have I been going? Okay. You know what? Let's do like one segment here of looking at the build pictures. So first things first, let me actually get these build pictures up. So it's 305. Uh, 105.
At least we've got a clear chain of command around here.
Also, let me move these to the end, actually. So let me move this to the end. 30, whatever it is, 305. And then we pull from the Eclipse recommended.
I don't have to complain about guard duty being boring anymore.
We'll include that as well. This as well. Because this will be the 5 builds in here, right? So yeah, baseline, glass, gunner variant, palisade variant, setup slash Hermano slash courier. Which is already kind of what this one also was. And then also we'll have a technician version, solo version. Yeah, let's go back here. This should line up perfectly, yeah. But we'll actually start there. Let's go over there again. Just have the background again. Just going back where we kind of started, even though it's nighttime now, so progression. Because let's record this and then we go from there. Where's the build collection there? And let's start looking at some build pictures. And yeah, these will be from the build collection and then also from the Eclipse recommended folder. They'll be all linked down below. We'll start with the build we've been seeing so far quite a bit. Let's zoom in a tiny amount here. And this is then that Eclipse, the baseline Eclipse as I've been calling it here, and this is the same layout as we kind of saw in the game. 4 pieces of Eclipse with the chest and the backpack, and then a Val mask, and then an electric piece. And on this build picture, yeah, we see that it's, as we discussed, all status effects together with skill haste here. This could be a skill damage. The mods, of course, can't be. They will be generally skill haste. Of note is that skill duration for a lot of these skills doesn't actually do much. Skill duration isn't the burn duration, for instance, on a fire chem. It is the duration that the cloud, once you fire it, stays in the game world. And same, for instance, for the Stinger Hive that I'll be using a lot. It isn't the bleed duration, it is the duration that once I toss the hive into the world, how long it stays there, which is quite meaningless in comparison. Skill duration, especially for some of the healing skills like the Reinforcer Chem, or for instance for Oxy, can be useful because they're, yeah, the cloud duration for Oxidizer does matter, but not for a Fire Chem. So skill haste is the way to go. So we're pairing basically status effects and skill haste all around. As we saw with that as well, Survivalist and Firewall are our top picks, a Lefty, a Scorpio, and here again as well, a Perpetuation Pistol. Snow Machine, as we discussed, is actually a pick, and yeah, if you kind of want to go for that for just a few particles, you can actually go for that. As we talked about as well, in Sync Weapon or Capacitor, really good picks as well. Then on the skills, as we see here, basically all of the skills that we kind of discuss, as I kind of try to lean out of the way, can be really good picks here. And then, yeah, we can go with Gunner for this Banshee Pulse. We'll show actually a specific version of that as well, and actually run that in the game. This way, we are always hitting 6 skill tier without even needing Technician and such. If we are going Technician, we could actually swap out one of our cores, for instance, with a blue core or a yellow core. You may notice actually on my electric piece, even though I said it is a yellow cored piece, the core is recored from yellow to yellow. And that is, of course, so I can either go to yellow, from yellow to red, or yellow to blue, and take, for instance, Technician. So I'm kind of already set up to do that. That is why that core is record. That is a pricey thing to do. You could also try to find, for instance, a status effect piece of Eclipse already, and then record that. That can be useful if you want to go Technician, but even going, for instance, basically the wrong way with it and having one extra yellow core than you would need, it's kind of fine if you're just using Eclipse with Technician here and there, just for instance, BTSU missions, invaded missions, or just for in the summit. This was 305. Let's go actually to a different variant here with 1.05. This is then forgoing the chest, the Eclipse chest that we do like to have, but here we're swapping it in for glass. So we're moving that electric piece to the chest here and then moving it as well to become with a glass. This used to be a super unicorn with Golan, and that was really hard to get. But nowadays, of course, with Eclipse, we would just need the 3 right stats, and then we could optimize those stats up and then put glass on it. And that makes it a lot easier to get and much more. That's also why I'm much more comfortable recommending this nowadays. In the past, this was a super unicorn to farm for with Golan. And it does actually have a bunch of benefits. Glass, like the backpack, applies to everything. And that means that our fire and our bleeds and our initial stinger hits and the explosion from the fire chem and such, everything goes up by 25%. And that can be really, really strong. We could also go with a sacrifice here, and that actually lands pretty close in numbers to this. On this build as well, we are going with the Everlasting Gaze. We're moving the Perpetuation basically to the rifle slot here. And then I'm going with a Future Perfect pistol. This is kind of just to show different ways that we can kind of set this up. And this will kind of depend on what you like to have. On the pistol here as well, it isn't actually a TDI card custom because that wouldn't be that useful. It is a normal card 45, so we can't have that extra detox to, for instance, if we pull this out and try to get a kill with it, we can much more easily do so with that detox there. And we don't, of course, need that extra skill tier while holding the pistol. Then this one as well, the way that I have it on that character actually is that I do also have a spare Eclipse chest on them, together with, in their case, a Golden Glove, but that could, of course, be an Electric Glove just to swap it back. What I basically have on all my characters, except one, is that while they have, for instance, this Eclipse, a Glass Eclipse, or a Foam Eclipse or such, I have always the option to take them back to that baseline Eclipse because that is the one that is most consistent to run. Because this glass, of course, also comes with its downsides of that extra incoming damage, and that can be actually a little bit dangerous if you're starting out and such. This wouldn't be recommended as a starter build. This as well has a much smaller radius of the fire, so you need to, if you're just catching one enemy and hoping it'll spread across the room, that's going to happen less. You have to kind of catch the enemies as they spawn from a spawn point. And because of that, yeah, this isn't the starter build. This is what actually I would say is the advanced build somewhat. Moving to a starter build, actually, we see this version, as we discussed, actually Gunner and Banshee Pulse can be really strong. So this one is actually with Gunner, and just the rest of it is as the baseline Eclipse, just Gunner, Fire Cam, and then a Banshee Pulse. And this is actually one of the recommended starter builds here. Mostly because you can just affect outcomes quite a bit with just this. You can Banshee Pulse through walls and such, doing so pretty safely, and then follow that up with some fire. But even if you don't land fire every time landing the Banshee Pulse, you can basically do pretty consistently. Plus, on top of that, we have the 10% armor on kill, healing you up a little bit from all of the reds and such, the riffraff that you murder. Weapons-wise, we're kind of going with the same tool sets that we normally have. Setting it up this way is actually a very recommended starter way. Then we'll move on to this next one, which is actually somewhat similar in thinking, but just again, one piece swapped out, which is just a palisade piece going in. This is that same armor on kill. You could also actually implement this together with Gunner and have 20% armor on kill. And Eclipse does actually get a bunch of kills, especially the smaller things, the reds and such, do die to the Eclipse fire. And that should also be, especially in group settings, the thing, if you're playing alongside of an Eclipse, the thing that you should be doing is just going for more the elites, the heavies, the warhounds, the bigger things, because the small thing is just going to go die to Eclipse. But running, for instance, one-piece Palisade can actually be a very comfortable way to run this build. And this is, for me, the comfort way. This is like putting on pajamas, basically, instead of the full suit. As this can very easily, especially in the past when we had leagues and stuff, this would be my go-to because it will be just much more consistent and one of the better ways to run this. Lastly as well, we'll discuss a version and we'll take this into gameplay as well later on, where we give up the backpack. Now, as we discussed, the backpack is a really good piece, the same as well as with the chest. So when we're replacing the chest with a glass, that can make a lot of sense because we are kind of taking the radius increase and the duration increase from that and putting in glass to do more damage. Here, nothing that we put in damage-wise is going to compete with the backpack. But if you're, for instance, doing here with the setup and doing perfect opportunistic, we can debuff the enemy. And if we're with a really strong team, this can be very powerful. Although this would be more in the domain of, I would say, the foam eclipse or such. That's also why this would be one of the lesser ways I would recommend, but still a recommended way. Then on the backpack slot as well, we have here a trio that we can go with. We can either go with the setup with perfect opportunistic, we can go with the Hermano with perfect overclock, or we can go with the courier with perfect creeping death. Now, creeping death is actually much more useful for foam than it is for eclipse. But we could still do so, and for instance, as well, use it together with some of the lesser status effects that we don't use as often, like blind and shock, to actually spread it across a room much more consistently. This, I wouldn't say is that highly recommended, but definitely a variation that is worth discussing, and we'll do so when we take it into some gameplay. Yeah, so those were the variations. Basically discussing the build pictures. And yeah, we're gonna leave it there because so I've recorded basically how many minutes is this all together? Yeah, 35 minutes. Yes. That's all fine. And then tomorrow we'll do the tactics section and maybe some gameplay. Because yeah, the order of it is gonna be basically this, and then discussing some of the tactics. The tactics section doesn't need to be that long, but just showing basically all of the skills and kind of how they control. and, you know, some of the things like double tapping fire cam, which plenty of people don't know. While we're here, let's grab these two key chests. And then let's swap the third account. And all of those felt pretty good, even though I stumble here and there still sometimes, but that's kind of fine. I feel I've gotten a lot better than I used to be, definitely. Yeah, let's take this back to base. And yeah, let's, as the title says, we'll swap over to third account. So I haven't played third account at all this season, almost. So, but I wouldn't mind getting the payday things on them. I'm pretty sure we can do that in one sitting because I haven't done any journey or anything. So we can just use the journey. We can use the scouts to get a bench. I'm also now going like, wait, what's this, right? I haven't logged into that account for so long that, yeah, it was that. Let's quickly make one thing for there. Yeah. Okay. Oh, as well, that Eclipse Masterclass is going to be Saturday's video. So we still have a bunch of time to get that done. But I wouldn't mind getting it done early and having it ready early. Splay is back. Okay, well, this is loading. Let me quickly, I'm going to go grab some water and do a bio break, and then I'll be right back. Go into this again. And yeah, I'm back. And it is kind of showing. Actually, how many of these are we gonna get here? So that's one. Oh, just one. Okay. I was expecting like dozens of them. Yeah, let's just because these were just, yeah, alts like that, right? I was like thinking for a second there, do I want to go around and get the SHG requisitions? Actually, each would be a level, all right? So, okay, sure.
Agent, we need you back in New York. Cleaners in Brooklyn. We need reinforcements.
And yeah, this is...
Safe area detected.
kind of show. Apparently I deconstructed a few weapons at some point. Dealt 50 critical hits. And that's about it. So we haven't done anything at all on this account this season yet.
Agent,
Mostly because yeah, I've kind of
Agent
parked
Hoskins.
this
Bell is ready to take you
account.
to Brooklyn.
Like, I haven't been playing much, but I thought it might be still a good idea to get this event in. Oh yeah, we don't have any of the passives and stuff, of course. It's interesting that it's still saying 312. Because also, first of all, it's 11. Because also this, like, this is just not updated from... That's odd. Because I'm pretty sure our main account, it says 511. Because I wanted to update the build picture for the 511 build for this season with that, just so that also says 511.
Agent, we need you back in New York. Cleaners in
Shut
Brooklyn.
up, Huskins.
We need reinforcements.
I don't even own Brooklyn on this. I feel it's kind of a dick move to have that play when you don't own it. Yeah, let's just go do, I feel, scout
Still
stuff.
interviewing Schaefer. We've got reports of increased hostile activity in D.C. since your altercation with the True Sons on Roosevelt Island. We need you to secure the city. Anna will help you prioritize the threats.
Wait, Kelso didn't have to go. And yeah, one of the cool things with the scouts is they're all kind of unlocked at the same time. So I'll just... So for instance, let's go get this campus. Was there also not one for theater? Theater, yeah, so theater as well. Let's push some of these forward, and then because some of them are just capture control points and stuff, and then some of our capture specific control points. So. Oh, was it that what I did? Did I get like the slingshot maybe? I don't remember what the last thing I did in this account was. Let's see a slingshot in there. Yeah, let's at the very least get this. Not sure it's also in there. Fill up on resources. I think I just dumped all the watch points they had into resources. That's one of the last things. Are they looking on expertise? Not upgraded either, of course. Oh, I should sell this at campus. Or deconstruct it at... Well, actually. Well, likely sell it at campus. And theater. Because I feel... So we need 20 levels, right? So... Even 10 scouts is enough for that. But then we also have some journey stuff we could do. Just... Sell junk. And this one I want to deconstruct. Because each of the scouts would be... Oh no, actually we need 20... Yeah, we need... Yeah, so 10 scouts would be already enough. So that's 4 already. Or 6 already, so we need 4 more. Hey, I found these things. You want to buy them?
This hole will do very well. Your business is appreciated.
Let's go do the same in theater. It's likely as well while we're doing stuff for the thing, we'll get some journey steps in and stuff. Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hey, I have 10 items to sell to you. How weird.
Thanks for boosting my inventory. I appreciate your business.
That's another scout part done. Okay. See some target practice. Okay, so these are control points. Downtown West. We'll do control points in Downtown West. Activities in West End. Murder True Sons. Black Desk. Some control points on this end. And East Mall. Seeing as we need like a control point. Oh wait, was it? I lost it already again. Downtown West. And West End. Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's go to there. Oh, they want to run actually. In this character, I think I have Heartbreaker and Striker Tech Tank, so let's maybe go with Striker. What else do they have? Yeah, a bunch of Headhunters, Strikers, some Eclipse. I'll make a smorgasbord of like builds I like. Although way too many Headhunters for my liking. Actually. Yeah, let's go Striker Tech Tank. Well, there's one set up with Dark Winter actually. Why not?
You'll die too!
No, you.
Stop me!
Somebody yelling, "You can't stop me." I feel I stopped you.
Nearby.
And that's how you do it. It's still dangerous out here.
Especially components and food. Should actually check what especially Journey 1 as well wants from me. Research convoys, viewpoints, control points, craft weapons. Oh yeah, loot, actually looting. And pistol kills. So, do remember to actually loot, because I never do normally. Let's actually track Journey 1 then. What was it? Claim a season pass reward, do I have to? Or, I mean, do I have 2 of them? Oh, this one's okay. So we need to wait all the way till here. What's that? Haven't done anything in there. And thank you, Blue. As that is indeed the affiliate day thing. I find it funny that Twitch kind of goes like, yeah, because I wouldn't remember it otherwise. It's kind of like whenever you have Cake Day on Reddit, it's just like, I feel bad for that. You know what? I deserve to die now.
Medical assistance needed.
As we murdered a puppy.
Agent vital signs 0.
The bastard ran right through my shooting. Yeah, let's try that again. Oh yeah, actually on this account, Yes, I don't have Brooklyn. I don't have smart cover and stuff. I was like thinking maybe I like expertise or proficiency that. Oh, that's why I don't have those guns, right? Could actually run something with like Lud or something. But we need to get a Lud. Also, I don't have all the passives and stuff, of course.
You're going down. You want a piece of me?
Detected. Nearby location. Guarded
Maybe
by
everybody
hostiles.
jumped down. Normally they very aggressively push up here. Can I get a kill in? Thank you.
This fucker died.
Get killer active at some point. There we go. And finally.
Switching positions.
Heavily armored hostile detected.
I didn't get caretaker on this scan, did I?
Hostiles guarding location nearby.
I mean, no, I didn't play it at all in the early season.
Here's a little.
Because we would have just run that for the proficiency of it. Right. And as the momentum is charged up a little, we can take some hits. Is that a return to patrol? Looks like it. Those other two didn't care that I killed like 2 people in front of them. They were like inches behind them.
Detected. Nearby location. Guarded by hostiles.
Didn't care. Wants me to do bank as well at some point.
Reinforcements en route.
But yeah, let's see actually if we can make
Hostiles
the
detected.
get the whole payday event done in like kind of one sitting. I'm pretty sure, like especially on a account like this, which hasn't done the journey and stuff. Because if I get like a few journey parts in, especially some of the we get into 4, 5, and 6. There's a lot of those.
Hostiles guarding location
A
nearby.
lot of these also give. Oh yeah, yeah. Each of them gives like 275 as well. So
That's it. That's it.
really, goddamn hyenas. They're supposed to miss. Well, I think they actually missed, but still was close enough that got me. To get my shield. But it's back already.
Heavily armored hostile detected.
Actually, go through my shield there. Let's just go hide in a corner bravely for a second.
Supply room access unlocked.
Yeah, keep forgetting to loot. It also needs to be weapons. So you have to actually pick them up. Not something I often do. I just check on the floor and just... Also, it's weapons, right? Yeah, weapons.
I can do.
Let's actually go back to base. I realize now I haven't actually grabbed... Although this character wouldn't be... This account wouldn't be eligible. I haven't done the
We need
hunters.
reinforcements.
Let's see if they have any blueprints from Inaya.
Let me be your one.
There's one thing actually that should be happening here as well. Oh yeah, I am getting... So
You need to craft something?
this account came in after some of this stuff, so... Some of these base weapons, yeah. So TKB. Apparently something else here as well. SOCOM, M1A. Okay. I'd be curious actually how many blueprints... Because it's basically an account made after the first
But you're welcome.
few seasons and stuff where they did add stuff like that. When did this again get made? Not sure actually. But also wanted me to craft something. Craft weapons. Let's craft some weapons. You know what? Let's craft some of those TKBs that we can do now. Was it? They fixed up a bunch of blueprints. But so 0 blue, or did I just not pay attention? It wasn't the blueprint in that one, yeah. Right. In the box. I feel what they should do is make these just have like 3 dots or something, and then fill in when it is, you know, when you have like basically it shows progress basically. West End. No, this would count for this still, right? For the control points, still west of the White House. Yeah, let's go. Let's go to New Venice. And then the bonus armor we get from... Could actually try the Striker tech tank with Intimidate. Because with the bonus armor, that could actually work out. With the seasonal bonus armor.
Suffer.
Don't blow me up. Nor you.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Pay back the pain.
No rusher. Rusher rare.
Access key detected.
Should go somewhere where it's targeted weapons to get that quicker. Also, we need to liberate control points anyway, so we'll count for those. Let's go be up there. Let's take the back route. Do some sneaking.
Civilians in distress.
Yeah, pistol kills. Ow.
Rabbit, you watch. I'll draw their fire.
No, they want to jump down. It's fine. It's coming. Because I want to spawn camp him, so that's why he's kind of sneaking up to here.
Watch that shield.
Heavily armored hostile detected.
Because at this point, like, all of these guys are just going to jump into the fire. Luigi set on fire the space between us two. I can't get to you. Don't go. What was this ult? And thank you, Wedge, for and indeed. Affiliate day. Try to remember if it was like, has it been 2 years or has it been 1 year? I wonder if it says somewhere.
Be able to hit him now. Get them some pain. One more for the fun.
I guess it's been 1 year, right? I think. Could likely look it up somewhere. But that will mean caring.
Reinforcements.
Let's get this going while we still have some stacks.
Incoming hostiles detected.
There's 2 spawns here, so it's pretty easy. The only danger is just getting hugged out of nowhere. I just decided to blow himself up. And here's what I'm gonna try to hit. Find your weak points.
No. Trying for that side.
Armored hostile detected. Serious trauma detected.
Ran out of ammo. Well, at least we still have ACS. Or maybe grab the ammo. We have to wait for these guys to arrive. Yeah. Yeah, blueprint PDR. Actually, I wouldn't mind trying to get all of the blueprints I can get on this account and seeing what number they land on.
Supply room access unlocked.
Also, I know what I should do. Super full up on resources. Oh. Wait, why is there 3 here? Caretaker, Huntsman. Oh yeah, Huntsman unload. Okay. You know what, seeing as I'm not gonna get Brooklyn on this account. Let's just put some of this into here. Just so we're not full and we can pick some up. Okay. 5 level words. There's actually a weapon. Or actually, let's get some ammo first. Still out of ammo. There was also a bunch of ones of just resupply people. Yeah, so this is resupply here. Officers in West End, okay. So this is named, because we only have 2.
We're fully stocked.
He says, well, he isn't fully stocked. 41. There.
We should need more supplies for a while. Thanks.
It's actually a full scout.
Let's go.
So you get the loot up there. Apparently I didn't pay attention.
Hi there, Agent.
And discount chain killer. So do I actually have a bounty here? Oh yeah, we always have some bounties here. So now we do a bounty here. Just to get those other officers. Basically just advancing through a bunch of those. That should also be second claim there. Yeah.
Hostile control point detected.
Eliminate hostiles with pistol. Could run a pistol headhunter for a little bit.
Target is nearby.
So why we do that? I think this character has a pistol headhunter. Don't have Regulus on this account, so we'll likely just go determined. Isn't updated to the imminence armaments yet. Let's go on this Fury. Let's cheese a little bit with.
You pay.
Could actually just then bump it up to 5 directives, but
I'm wasting my time over here.
but
Anywhere near here we can raid for food.
Watch that shield.
stop that. Let's just run this till we have 50 pistol kills.
For all the fallen. No more fucking president. Here's
Vital
a
signs
real
critical.
tough guy.
Yep. Is there only one on this side? I think there is only one on this side, isn't there? It's funny how little in some of these DC areas some of these have. Like this is just 4 components. It's like 100 components. It's barely anything. One more control point and these pistol kills would be enough to get Journey 2 unlocked. Then one in the head there.
You're gonna burn. I need to keep my head down.
So maybe we should grab a revive hive, but fine. Why don't you be red? I think. Still didn't get him.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
No way.
So we just need to stack up a little. What?
Agent
Wait, who did I hit then?
0.
I hit somebody there. I thought it was this guy. Like I saw him like slow down. But it must have been someone in the back there that I killed. That was weird. It's fine. Yeah, let's maybe replace this with a revive hive. We don't have any directive ups anyway. We can take 5 directives as well, but directives don't help anything with season. So it becomes just like if we want the levels, which I don't care about levels at all. Actually, can we have it go? Let's see if we can make it go somewhere. We can go the relief camp here. Yeah, it's much easier to get to. It's gonna be over there. So we just need to get a
That's it.
head under stack going and then just use that.
It's time.
Of course, on the final shot, we don't hit it. Where's this Russian?
Go, Elsa.
Oh,
You've got it.
When this one's coming up?
For all the fallen.
Build the rescue. Okay. Stand still, then fire. Isn't the Regulus? I say, and then instantly keep running around while firing.
Light them up!
Interesting that with the blue, the elite LMG guy there still gonna lift that one.
That's your target.
Going around them! Fuck you and your friends! Division!
Spawning all
Target
three.
neutralized. Good work.
Kind of a dick move.
Division are killed!
Serious
You're gonna
trauma
keep staggering like that. Bastard.
You got the target. Nice. Target neutralized. Good work.
It's a federal emergency to run
That's
that
another one
scout
down.
out.
Good job, Agent.
Actually, do we have a target practice somewhere? We do. Multiple even. That one's an easy one. Let's go do that.
Friendly combatants detected.
Although it's especially just the easy version of the target practice. Some gammy should be annoying. Yeah. And then just the AR for that.
You're just right for this hellhole city.
Yeah, we need another 13 pistol kills. So we'll get those in. Sure, these guys are getting into position. Might as well grab these. Because we're going to need to refill like 150 on the other side as well. If I remember right.
It's hard keeping track of the days now.
Friendly combatants nearby.
Oh. This is going to be great. I already can't see shit.
Yes! All right!
And actually, because it is like that, it's actually highlighting them. Well, there's some of them.
Very nice.
And this place only has 8. So when it goes to 8 like this, it's all of them basically. And then round 4 is also only 8 and not like 12 or something. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Holy shit, that was great shooting.
Friendly combatants detected.
So, true sun numbers around the White House. Okay. I think as well the third one of that was capture that, right? So maybe we hit these two and then go into that. And then just do the assault. And then check how many we still need.
Shit, they're getting too close. Hey, stay there. I'm coming to you.
Mr. Hoarder.
Target's got us.
Me on.
Might be a named group here. Quite often there is. Also, that's actually not where I'm going. I'm going here. Yeah, named group on top.
Behind that shield. Let me at him. Stand. Let's go.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
You better run.
Access key detected.
Yeah, this box is still placed the wrong way. So it just drops at your feet. But 12 out of 25. This will be a further like 9.
It's time to face reality. Only the true sons are willing to do what needs to be done. There are others out there trying to pit you against us, telling you we're bad people. But the only bad people are those who sit idly by while the world tears itself apart.
And even I don't need to actually aim for the heads. Should donate all the imminence armaments I get here and just get some proficiency in. Might as well.
Do you think the division are really serving America? Don't fall for their lies. You're smarter than that. The true sons are fighting to save the country and serve the common man.
Fuck you!
Sorry, can you die?
Draw some of this damn fire!
Access key detected. Progress halted.
It's time to face reality.
Override required.
Only the true sons are willing to do what
He's
needs to be
hiding.
done. There are others out there trying to pit you against us, telling you we're bad people.
Progress resumed.
Oh, there's 2 even that require just true sun kills. We're doing both of them.
We've lost one. Gotta kill them.
Manual override required.
Yeah, the last stab of that one was... Oh, it's just any foothold. Okay, we could actually combine this with some of the other ones then maybe. Although the other ones were in these or in White House zone, so this one doesn't specifically say actually. So we can just do any control point because yeah, finishing up this. Then also we need control points east of the White House. And East Mall. And also activities in East Mall. I think that second step of that East Mall one was to get like 4 control points, right? So maybe get that one to that and then see where that goes. Let's do 2 activities here.
Civilians in danger.
True Sun ones.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Enemy shielded.
I think that's just 2 activities for the next step. Should have just grabbed all of the answers.
Hostile control point nearby.
I was kind of still remember them all.
Civilians in distress.
Oh, what's another easy True Sun one? Yeah. It's also we need territory from something, I remember. Oh, actually, no, it's control. Yeah, so this is taking
Detected. Nearby location. Guarded by hostiles.
also this counts as the activities for that other one. Oh, also I don't need pistol kills anymore. We'll swap off of this after this. Let's go back to just heartbreak if we can.
Detecting additional hostile contacts. Access key detected.
Yeah. Let's swap off of this. So she just go heartbreak, I think. A little bit more stability or survivability. Stability. Okay, so so yeah, this will be control points. Those activities there. Should be east of the White House. I'm not sure actually East Mall counts as east of the White House. We'll see. There's also outpost in East Mall. And this is the control points in East Mall. So these 2 overlap. Let's actually get that Black Tusk one step further. We can do pretty easily with that. Let's go after that. Especially if mini tank spawns, and we can have a bunch of spawns. I don't remember what like followed up that Black Tusk one.
Let me figure out how exactly I'm gonna kill you.
They're using shield.
Millions of this guy having yellow, and it also being an elite mini tank, so it takes a while to kill. But then also Heartbreaker doesn't stack on mini tanks.
Are you in denial or just stupid?
I'm just stupid. No, we kill this thing. Okay, mini tank. We leave the mini tank alive.
Take much more. Enemy is people.
We're not just gonna try. Double mini tank even. Because basically now it's just gonna keep spawning.
Civilians in distress.
Fire.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Tango's in my sight.
As long as there's one mini tank inside of that thing.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
If you've ever had like infinite spawns with this, that's that.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Come on. It's never infinite. Because eventually the mini tank will despawn. That's actually what will cause it to end.
Detecting additional hostile.
Seeing as I just need to murder a bunch of Black Tusk, this works.
Got a target.
Incoming hostiles detected.
But I can go well because, for instance, there we have a new mini tank that spawned in there. So. And I know that because there's one of these guys in control.
Detecting
Another new
additional
one.
hostile contacts.
Target's out there.
Incoming hostiles detected. Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Trying to kill that elite one. Still have two purple ones anyway.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Target is here. Engaged. In step.
Detecting
I'm
additional.
gonna guess I've had whatever number I needed to kill a Black Tusk done.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Heard something.
Detecting additional hostile contacts. Civilians in distress.
Any mini tanks. I either shot them too much or they despawned.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Just get this wave and then it's done. Oh no.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Actually, I know it will be 3 waves, right? Because it basically locks you on whatever wave you were on last. It's kind of the thing that is happening there. So that was with the very first wave, so that all of that counted as the very first wave. I know this is technically an elite territory or elite combo. So. 3 waves total. And thank you so much, Potato and Jesse. And indeed, we're affiliate daying. Although not that I per se care. I barely care about my own birthday or anything like. Those ones, but it's a good reminder of like, oh yeah, we've had that for a while now. Yeah, that must have like that was like 50 Black Tusk kills, right? Whatever this needed, we did. Unmanned ordnance they have deployed. That was or this was Warhounds, wasn't it? It's invaded. Do I need American history at any point for something? Although solo American history would just be one Warhound. But maybe also this is invaded, so we'll encounter some Warhounds here. Yeah, let's go capture all 4 of these, because we need to do that. Wonder if these will count as east of the White House, or if that's just those 3 zones. We'll see. And yeah, I've had a pretty good Sunday so far. Thanks for
Control point detected.
asking. Hope everybody enjoyed their Sunday as well. Kinda just a relaxed day. Got a bunch of work stuff in. Even got a little bit of setup there, of course, as well, as we recorded some of the Eclipse Masterclass. I was sitting around as well, kind of thinking of like how I want to structure it. Although basically at the end it's gonna be the same as the old one. It's just, you know, no longer with the old. Because that masterclass is from the time where it was like Golan and stuff. It's kind of out of date. It's gonna be tech tanky. Oh, I've already finished Journey 3 actually. Because I have Journey 5, 6 and stuff popping. So making progress.
Heavily armored hostile detected.
Fuck. Gotta reload.
That's a lot of people. I think some extra patrol showed up. The name's out, so it's the last wave anyway. So let's pull the wave, although they almost ate through my shield. That's what we get for leaving 2 reds up. Those red markers are actually a lot of extra damage. Kind of like last season as well. When enemies had Frenzy, it was... you had to actually watch out. Oh, shit.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
I was closer to that than I should be.
We're getting flanked.
It hasn't named with reds. So I really need to deal with that. They deal a lot of damage. I actually got lucky there that they didn't finish me off. They definitely could have. So, let's grab some ammo first. What is the other Lexington on this account? Measure thing.
Reinforcements en route. Incoming hostiles detected.
Kill them and take any supplies you find.
one. Setting up my turret.
Wanna
They're moving on our
stack up.
Get the hell out of here. Oh no. We've got one.
Straight for a memento.
Reinforcements have arrived.
Finish it.
Got some journey thing finished there.
Take it easy. I'm here.
Actually check how far into it we are. Because also I don't want to just do all of the scout or anything. I wouldn't mind keeping some of it for the scout. Maybe we come back to it for stretch goals. Whenever those are.
Clearing out.
I just want to finish the payday event. As well, I also have 2 other characters on the account that could do their SHE requisition. That by itself is 2 levels.
They got one of us.
We also have that always. So you bastards. Dragging me all the way away from the... Look at how far we are. How many exotic components do I have on this account? 244. It's not bad. Okay, so that completed that. These are mission. No, I haven't seen the 3rd one there yet. Okay, so this didn't count. Oh no, this did count for this. Oh, okay. That's great. So. Because it is capital. But then this is just these control points, and then this will double count for this as well. So those are these control points. Also, I think that's what I needed for Journey 1 as well here. Yeah. Because we can claim this as well for a further 2 levels. Let's already claim all. Okay, so we're already almost at 10 levels. And then yeah, so when we claim this, so further 2 levels. Also, capital is part of this. Donations. I think after the other one as well, we have donate to things. So we'll do that. Just looting items, headshots. Calibrations. And also claim this. There. So we're already. It's annoying that you can't equip it from here. Apparently we're full up on caches. That makes sense actually. We got a bunch of caches from the thingies, right? Let's also let a bunch of these items go to the ground. Yeah, we got the full set of measured. Let's actually clean some of this up and then pick it up. I'll count as items picked up, looted. Let's remember to actually donate first. Yeah, well, let's keep some of these MA pieces. A bunch of them went on the ground, likely. Donate first. Deconstruct after. Loot all as junk. Is that enough for 15? Yeah. Let's actually keep some of these measured assembly for a hot second. Instruct the rest. Yeah, let's go do the rest of this. Anyway, we're getting some blueprints as well from this.
Unlocked.
These control points. I wonder actually what the blueprint number will become on this character, on this account. Claim all there as well. So make sure to donate. Oh, that took long enough that I lost my memento stacks, but that's fine. We'll make some new ones. No names group now. That's actually journey wise. Let's track this. Yeah, let's try to get some headshots in. Capital can be for 2 things. Not have this thing shoot me in the back. That's still an annoying choice that Heartbreaker can't stack on mini tanks where Striker can. Like, Striker doesn't need more benefits over other builds. I need a carbon, and yeah, I have been. Thank you for asking. And I hope everybody has been enjoying their weekend as well. Also kind of happy that it's kind of cooling down where I am. Definitely feeling that difference. Also got a pretty productive weekend in.
Let's see you run now.
Don't mobilize me. Let's go deal with the sides here. It's a bunch of extra stuff.
Wide open target.
Maybe I should just call him in.
Can't take much more fire.
It doesn't matter too much anyway. I should check. Because, yeah, we are in 4, 5, and 6. I'll likely unlock the passives, or I'll likely have some passives already even unlocked.
Don't let this agent get away.
'Cause this definitely feels a lot weaker than,
They're coming.
especially missing loaded up here. Let's call it in.
Reinforcements incoming.
No problem, yeah. Although this season, I feel like it was pretty tame anyway. So, likely whatever we get next season is gonna be of this. Because for instance, last season's one was a lot more power. You know, yeah, first season one was really a lot more. Like point blank with by the teeth was just one of the strongest things in the game.
Heavily armored hostile detected.
They've got a shield. No choice but to flank.
You want to get there?
They're kind of like this model. They should keep, I feel, this kind of model where the passives are just tiny bonuses. The main bulk is coming from the main modifier, because that's kind of here as well, the 10%. Or yeah, 6% to 10%.
Reinforcement complete.
Engaging target.
Crit chance is kind of a big deal. And the bonus armor is kind of nice. But the passives aren't like super strong. And then the active is kind of, yeah, really a game changer. But then also you kind of have to decide if you're... if you want a smaller buff all of the time, or if you want a big buff sometimes. I feel as well that just basically doesn't have one answer. Like, that's gonna depend on what you're doing, who you're doing it with, what your playstyle is. Stuff like that.
Oh, that hurt.
Detecting additional hostile
Let's grab
contacts.
ammo.
I'll get to the big gun. Whoa, he's getting too close.
I'm on it. Open fire. Got a flank.
Ow.
Just leave us alone.
Eat that grenade. One thing though, I did still miss, well, from point blank, the outline on enemies, and then from rogue momentum, the movement speed. Like, the movement speed was, of course, pretty nice. Probably should just put movement speed in every season. Why not? I'm gonna go for the heads a little.
Another hit. I'm screwed. Reloading.
Where did that even come from?
Enemy here. I'm ready for it. Ready? Gotta finish off that agent.
Serious trauma detected.
An enemy behind me.
Firing.
Where are you going?
We're not so defenseless, are we?
I need to stack better as well. Let's see that again.
Heavily armored hostile detected.
Get the body bag ready. Yeah.
Use the active. Yeah, I kind of play like that as well. Although sometimes I do grab the active, especially when matchmaking and stuff, because, you know, if it's the boss fight and I'm just gonna leave the group anyway after, it's just like, just trigger it on the boss and just speed that part up, kind of. But yeah, in general as well, I just go to 5 and just stay on 5 everything. I think I just got brought back to life to just get shot in the face again. Oh, so that was that grenadier then, okay.
Taking way too much.
0-day knee pads.
Check those bodies.
I never remember
Supply room access unlocked.
what gear set would that even be. Oh, that's likely system protocol. Likely, right?
Thanks again. Really saved us.
I remember that having like hacky names for most of the stuff on it. Let's just run from here. I don't want to go from the... Although, actually, no. Let's run from here. Don't want to lose my mementos. Is that for sure? Yeah. I'll likely see some again. Yeah, no. Just gonna run into this mission.
Already established a foothold here.
Not gonna do the
Dislodging
mission.
them isn't gonna be easy.
What the hell? Pretty low on ammo. Should grab some before fast traveling away from the control point. Can you actually kill these from... I mean, yeah. Why wouldn't you be able to, right? Or spawned in. In the past, there was a speedrun thing of like, you could jump into the mission before setting it.
Fresh meat.
By doing that, you could already kind of put oxys down and stuff in there, and then start the mission, and then... Otherwise, you would have the mission set, but you wouldn't start it because you wouldn't go through the gate. But they fixed that at some point. Anyway, that there with the
Hostiles guarding location
people
nearby.
in from max 10 meters. Okay. One of those journey things, we need close range headshot kills. And that already is kind of what I'm going for anyway. There's actually how far are we in this? Oh, we're already on 15. A bunch of the way there. You know what, seeing as we have this. Sure, why not? Let's run the things we're unlocking. Where are you all the way out here? reinforced already. But yeah, getting the payday thing done is pretty easy, especially if it's an account that hasn't like already played the season. Mostly because you have the scouts and stuff to catch up on. Where's already?
Target's injured.
Heavily armored
Target's
hostile
injured.
detected.
You feel I'm at full armor and health, and also I have enough bonus armor to like take a thermonuclear strike to the face. Sorry, did you wiggle less? Let's get,
Incoming hostiles detected.
let's get defending. Extra thing during the fight.
On me. It's gone. Fire phone. Shot that agent.
A little bit outside of optimal range, but it's fine.
Let's get a turret up.
Detected. Nearby location. Guarded by hostiles. Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Convoy.
Hostile dispersed.
Didn't see that.
Grenade deployed.
Let's just finish these guys quick.
Detected.
Shoot like that, agent.
Thank you. Also needed convoys for that. Although we've completed journey 1 already. I'll take that. Guard roll detach. CQB.
Heavily armored hostile
Don't
detected.
mind if I do.
Damn it. He's got a fucking shield.
Try to have that on main accounts, but more.
Hostiles guarding location nearby.
He's flanking. Watch her back.
Each time I'm passing it, I keep forgetting that that turret is in the thing there. In the wall.
It was on different without. We did it.
Oh, thank you so much there, Omega, for subscribing for subscribing.
Supply room
Words
access
are hard. Who knew? But yeah, thank you very much, and glad you like my silliness enough to waste some money this way. I mean, we'll be sure to waste that on some whatever next silly apparel they put in. Actually, yeah, what was the bundle this week? Oh yeah, the bestie skin, right? Yeah, which I do have on main account. There's actually another Pesty skin and another Scorpio skin and another Elmo skin. Oh, well, and Elmo skin. I'm guessing they're gonna use those for the stretch goals. I would think. At least two of them, like one paid, one free. Because yeah, the data mined things of the stretch goals are already known. It's going to be at least, I mean, they might still change their mind on the last second, but by the look of things, it's the exact same as last season. Except, you know, instead of Oxpecker and
I've got some new contracts.
whatever it was called, Exodus, it's gonna be the Nimble and the Pacan. Just clear this named group here. Don't respect my authority. Oh, their loot dropped underneath me. Okay. Like, what happened to their loot? They just dropped. They were on a weird angle there. Sorry, that. A little dusty apparently. Or maybe I'm catching something. Shouldn't be that out of the question as well. Should have actually donated at that control point. Because I think yeah, so we need to donate some for that, and then also for the other one. Let's actually first capture this, then we'll go back and donate. We'll have a bunch of control points to donate to. This plays can be sometimes annoying in the just being aggressive way. Kind of depends how they spawn. And I'm just still gonna go be aggressive. I mean, actually, I don't have Fog of War up, so they're not gonna surprise me. Because usually I have like Fog of War and stuff up, but actually makes it harder to keep track of where everybody is.
Enemies too close. Friendly soldiers down and out.
Heavily armored hostile detected.
I was about to say, why am I poisoned? Yeah, that's why. Those guys just rushing through some True Sons just to get to me. What dicks.
Civilians in danger.
Might as well go grab ammo already.
Detecting additional hostile contacts.
Man, the game's so much easier with that DirectX. Who knew? We just get to see where they're coming from. Although they got caught up by my reinforcements.
True sons.
Assaulting the objective! Got a shield! No choice but reloading! Man down! Oh, Christ!
All the way in like
I think they got him.
different state. It's basically in Brooklyn. I got so far from that assault team that I'm no longer even in combat.
Got you!
Some stacks again.
Once I pass the shield, it's the plan.
At least they're spawning this side now.
Heavily armored hostile detected.
Uh-oh.
I'm gunning!
Son of a bitch.
I'm coming for you!
Said it.
I'm just trying to make it headshots for some of the challenges. Can get more into the drops so annoying. Yeah, it can sometimes feel like that, where it's just you're looking for one specific thing and just you get everything else. In the backpacks, there is definitely as well the Acostas drop more than anything else. There's 3 different colors of it, and each color is a different one in the loot pool, basically, which is a little shitty, making it harder to get the other ones.
Civilians in distress.
But if you keep at it, you'll get it eventually. Especially target backpacks and do some countdowns, and then also open up exotic. Great jacket. Brooklyn items.
We could have passed the background check to guard a place like this.
Donate. Well, actually, wait. How far are we? Okay, so we still have 5 levels to do. Let's donate. That will be 2 levels. Where's the? Why is it? What? Why is this guy upstairs there? I was like, oh, that line is just mistaken. No. He didn't. He's leading from there. But that's fine. We'll go somewhere else. We'll just go donate over here. I just needed to donate somewhere. From the Colonel, I was a fan of the Shotguns plus Heartbreaker. Just from someone. Sorry. Or you're asking if I mean, I already have rock and rolls like aplenty. The rock and roll wouldn't be a good fit here, mostly because flatline can increase my damage by plenty, and also we're just stacking to 100, so we don't. Rock and roll is pretty good for stacking to 200. But yeah, don't worry, I'm well aware
Full up for the moment.
of the capabilities of these weapons. In your off-time was just run some X. Sorry, what? First of all, also, I'm guessing you may also not be aware that the rock and roll is like not a easily farmable item. It is a DZ item, so. But you can get it pretty, like, you know, open up enough named caches and eventually you'll have all of the names. This guy teleport down now? Yes.
Think you could give us a hand? We need supplies.
This is not working. We're spread. We're buying another one from you guys. Yeah.
Thank you, Agent.
That brand, right? That isn't that other brand, but it is that brand. But not the other brand. Oh, Nokia, yeah. I mean, yeah. It would actually be impressive if you could have a... Although, actually, they still make something, right? I think. Like, I remember them bringing out something at some point. Okay, so that was another scout. So that puts us a little further again. So we basically need just one more scout. And yeah, there was a bunch of mission ones that we had. Let's actually see what we have. Manhunt. Either way. Still feel Manhunt should be in those menus. Because we're going to do Feral Lincoln. Capital. And this one's Aaron Space. Let's go do Capital. Because that's also one of the ones for like there. Yeah. Let's go do Capital. Nobody goes to reps. Yeah, it's not like, it's more like trivia. Some people know, some people don't. Won't really change the outcome anyway. Just keep farming at it and you'll eventually get it. Yeah, let's just go as is.
Taking the capital will deal a huge blow to the True Sons. But the priority is to get back the briefcase President Alex is carrying aboard Air Force One. Kelso's waiting aboard a helicopter to extract it as soon as you secure it. If what else told us is true, a lot depends on getting that case
Yeah,
to him.
they changed it basically to be all of the scouts
But you'll be on your own
can be
once you're
done
inside.
kind of in parallel.
Mortars on the roof.
And now as well, for the final mission, for the climax mission, you don't need to do all of them. The only two that are marked HVT. Yeah. This away. So the only two that are marked HVT, so that is this 8 and this one. These are the only two you need to do get the climax mission. But basically all of them are unlocked at once, and you can kind of, in some parts as well, they overlap, because for instance, this one of these had like do 3 control points or something, and another one had like one was just to True Sun control points, and one was to get 4 control points in East Small. So as you know, one was do control points east of the White House. So East Mall counted for that.
I'm gonna fuck you up. Let's see you run.
Hostile reinforcements converging on your position.
Oh, pretty aggressive here. I did lose my memento stacks.
Who got hit?
Likely took too long. Should watch out for that. Also, I should actually check if I some passives to add in.
Target's out of cover.
Anyway, medic melee really shock you.
Looks clear.
All right, push forward.
Yeah. Let's actually see, do I have some passives? Oh, yeah, we have. I don't have these hybrid ones, so yeah, we can't take multitasker and best kind. But we can take... Oh, yeah. Just these two. It's for padding and safety first, because the rest isn't that useful here. There's a little bit extra survivability.
More hostiles headed to you.
Not likely finishing this mission by itself is gonna be enough to finish the payday thing. This LMG guy is always the worst. I'm gonna pull back a little bit because they're about to spawn on my side. And just in time. Those journey pop-ups are kind of annoying, actually. I mean, they're just for a little bit, but still. Because it's just, you know, like I'm getting a headshot here and then like a weak point kill there, and so and just like each of them is causing a pop-up.
That was the last of them. You should have a clear approach to the entrance.
Then it's time to get in there and finish this.
It does kind of pull the eye. So we're starting in the middle of the season, yeah. Especially for instance here as well. So this account, like I didn't have anything done. And us doing what we did here was enough to just get the payday. And once I finished this. Because we started even like an hour 20 into the stream or something. So we did this all in an hour 40. Getting through all of the payday events. Just 20 season levels.
Hostile radio intercepted.
Sir, proximity charges just detonated in the rotunda. They're inside. Move to intercept.
Electronic
The
signature.
downside of it is though that it kind of incentivizes is if you're kind of going for like stretch goals and stuff.
Copy that, Kelso?
It's kind of like, yeah, why play during the season? Just save it for the end of the season and just...
System back online.
Although the stretch goals usually are on top of the season. I wonder actually to see
Once you acquire the
this
briefcase,
way
get to the
what
roof of the
they...
rotunda and wait for the
Because
helicopter.
this,
That mortar team is still up there.
with this payday event,
Understood. They'll need
this
to be
is
cleared before the helos
alongside of the
approach.
season. So you would have to actually finish the season anyway, so... That would likely eat up all the journey and stuff anyway. But you could do that likely with a 3 times season XP. You just blow through it. Kind of the issue with Heartbreaker. Like Striker would be fully stacked by now, just shooting like this. Oh well, not maybe fully, but stacked a lot higher than the like 20 stacks I have here. That's just the biggest downside for Heartbreaker. Is its bad stacking.
General, the division most likely has the briefcase.
They'll try to evac it. Do what you can do to delay them.
Sir, yes, sir.
Because on the numbers ends, ever since like Striker went to 0.9 and then Heartbreaker went to 1.1 at 100 stacks. That kind of did help Heartbreaker, but still. Just stack better.
Let's get a turret up. I ain't
Hey. What's that? We haven't seen the rogues in a while.
Rogue agent detected.
Getting good at this. Manifesting rogues. It's not very common here on the roof. I've kind of done it a few times here. This will be actually I should go and clip that, and this will be the third one. I'm just gonna do it with this Heartbreaker. Not gonna grab PFE or anything. I could. I do have a decent PFE on this character. But that's kind of unnecessary. Fully stacked Heartbreaker. As long as I have my mementos and stuff. This character did put a skill up now. Yeah, this one has reduction plus. Whenever they have skills out, it's even more reduction.
System reactivated. Rogue agent eliminated.
I already have like 2 times where I've kind of manifested them here. And this will be the third one there. Decent UIC. Actually, let's favorite these two, because yeah, we got a Lateral DTAC CQB. This is usable UIC. Anything else here usable? Yeah.
When the roof is clear, send up a flare to signal us.
What was that? Did the devs ever comment on Turlo acknowledging that Heartbreaker sites are working as intended bug? No. This is like way deeper than I don't think this is gonna be something that they're gonna touch.
I want him dead. Affirmative.
Because at the end of the day, it works like well enough, especially if you tech tank it like this. But yeah, I do definitely go out of my way to stack with.
Cover me. I'm on it. He's out of cover.
Well, one thing that does help, like just Kingbreaker RPM difference to Lexi is also like helps you. And thanks, Jesse. Yeah, pretty sure to feature that one.
Rooftop looks clear. Copy. Awaiting confirmation.
All right. When you're ready, set up.
I'm surprised actually we didn't get any.
briefcase somewhere safe.
I haven't seen rogue. Actually, no, I've seen. I don't remember when it was though. We did get rogues at some point at a control point. It's been a while.
Holy shit. They've got Sam. That woke me up. We need to bug out until the airspace is clear.
Copy that. Those anti-air defenses have to go.
The missile came from the east
Yeah,
side of the
everything now
building.
before the rogues
I'm seeing
actually
2
come
radar
down.
trailers on the east front.
Must be guidance from the
Spamming
SAMs.
it.
Take them out by
I don't think
any
you can
means
even hold
necessary
it.
so the helo can approach.
Or the rope is actually there. Yeah, let's go to the defense here. This guy gonna have a pesty or something? Nah. I don't even have a red FI.
Okay, I have eyes on you. You're coming up on
I
those
should
radar
grab those
trailers.
med packs.
Knock 'em
One of
the
the things
fuck
is
out
to
and let's get
use a
this
bunch
shit
of med
done.
packs, I remember, so I've just been here and there just using the instant use ones.
Incapacitated. He's dead.
That screams in the distance. But I feel as well what they could do with Heartbreakers at some point, just they could, because Heartbreakers just across all 100 stacks, it's always 2 stacks per second. Where Strikers is up to 50, it's 1, and then above 50, it's 2 per second. I feel even just taking this down to being like 1 stack a second. It's kind of like here, like I'm actually continuously hitting enemies and stuff. And normally, like on Striker, like with this, I would be gaining stacks overall. But I'm kind of just lingering around half stacked. Like unless a heavy comes or something. Or maybe make it have 2 stacks on headshots or something. That would kind of be in line with... And then make it like 2 stacks per headshot, but then still keep it like broken like this and then... It would kind of... That would be balanced, I feel. Is it? I'm like below half. Still.
Confirming 1 trailer out of action.
Okay, knock out the other one.
Where I feel if I did that same exact fight with Striker with the same weapon. Although, well, you technically have RPM there, but I would just be at full stack most of that fight.
There's another launch.
Grab ammo first. My late first. Now we have some stacks. I feel like the pulsing though from I feel that that still as well has so much value that like just doesn't get used. Especially kind of measured as well going up, kind of 8 into flatline. As long as I still really do like just having the link laser pointer. Like just the continuous pulsing. Yep.
Second trailer down.
I'll patch you up.
I want to push in because we'll have the chopper here in a second anyway.
No further contacts. Area secure. Copy that. Coming to you. The cargo hook is on its way down. Stand by to attach the briefcase.
All my stacks are gone again.
We have the briefcase. Taking fire. We're out of here. You've got a whole bunch of hostiles headed to you.
This guy's blue as well. Like that would be like full stacks on Striker, I feel. You're just shooting a boss like that continuously. Or like 3 mags, 4 mags. Here, like, I'm at 20. Where's your owner?
The briefcase is secure. True Sons lost their stronghold, and General Ridgway has been neutralized. Of all the toys on my map I've been waiting to knock over, that fucker was the one. A lot of good people from my old unit are dead because of him. Some even went over to his side. Set up a flare from the front steps to signal the all clear. Come on home. Let's
Lamp shading for future content? Some even went over to his side? I dropped the safety distance there. Still funny that like they still haven't fixed the apartments being in this pool. I would have expected that to be, although I feel just nobody noticed. Or in general, nobody really like pays attention to that one. See if we can get the quick route. Yep. Pulled out of my role. Again. I completed a bunch of things. A scout activity, a journey part. Let's get all these pop-ups. Bounty added. Oh, that's that one bounty, right? It's the bounty for the manhunt. How long did that take us? 21 minutes though, Jesus. There is no quick way to do capital, I feel. Yeah, did we actually... We must have, right? Oh, actually, no, we haven't. Okay. So, we have another level to go. Although we could just complete these by doing the other two characters on this account with their thing. But we could also do the HVT part here. That's it. That's this bounty. Yeah, let's do that. Also, I think that bounty just went too hard, right? Yeah. This is annoying that it's just... Why doesn't this scale? I wonder if that's intended or if it's just some weirdness. But yeah, let's go finish that up. That will finish up that. Oh yeah, that's why. Yeah, I thought that would actually complete a scout there, but that didn't complete the scout. That was a second step on the scout. This will complete the scout.
They're trying to get to me.
Don't just wait for them, run! Heads up! EMP! Enemy!
Oh, that guy has a thing out and he has the reduction. Take a while to kill. Lacks damage. Yes. But also, you basically you just need to stack with ACS. Like, I feel... I mean, we can side by side them here even. Although, this is going to be a hard battle. I have actually the striker tech tank on this as well. If I compare that to this thing. Let's even make this... the crit is going to be horrible, right? Can I fix that somehow? I mean, yeah, somehow. Yeah, mods. That's fine. Oh yeah, this is a hard bounty. But also, yeah, with Heartbreaker, you can be a little bit more aggressive, so you might as well. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want the rope at all. Decay based on bonus armor and build stacks on headshots only. I think putting it on headshots only would just actually hurt it a little bit more. But I feel if it just like, yeah, maybe like a 2 stacks on headshots, I feel would be... Because then the thing is also like, if it is headshot only stacks, that means that, you know, there's a bunch of places you can't stack. If you're fighting Warhound or something.
Agent, target spotted.
And then hard is a little bit too easy. It's annoying that this mana and bounty doesn't scale actually. Because the old ones used to. Like, why doesn't this one? I know that should have been enough to complete the event. Which is good as well as it's getting later. But you know what, to kind of side by side these was we didn't in the end. So maybe I should just go capture maybe a control point or something. Maybe I'll just go for Navy Plaza. I need to correct. What AR am I using? I'm using the Lexington here.
Thank you for keeping us safe, Agent.
Which is, yeah, annoyingly the top AR. 209 encryption. And we definitely should have all of the event pass. Alright. Yeah. It's also I should go to that outfit. I like that one a lot better. Well, yeah, no mask. Pretty jacket. You know what? It's so silly. I kind of like the combo. Just kind of a casual suit and then cat ears. Why not? When the Sun Loop would get us also Journey 2. I'm gonna save the rest for if the stretch goals comes. Not sure if I'm gonna play this account though for the stretch goals. I was just today like looking at it, like, you know what, maybe we get the thing.
You're dead.
Should have cleared my back there. Here I definitely don't want to call them in early. We're gonna cheese the second part. I assume that guy would have been on the minigun. But I kind of like this, like, yeah, I did stack with the ACS a little bit, but I'm also keeping my stacks and I'm kind of going up even in stacks. Here, it's just.
Better watch out.
Just a pretty big difference. Man, not having the right crits definitely makes this feel weaker. But as well, I don't have the two. I don't have those two modifiers either. Not that they add that much damage, but they still have.
I'm exposed here.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Let me get you up here. There's another. This is gonna scare me. There's no the right build that is. Oh yeah. With one good PFE. Although the thing is, like, you know, there is safety in camping it. So we can't begrudge people doing that, but especially in group settings, like if one person is running PFE and kind of everybody else helps take down whatever target they're kind of fixating and then just burn through them. Especially solo as well. Yeah, anything a little bit tankier can just deal with them pretty well, like earlier. The blue box for the shield above the orange life gauge. We get the blue box for the shield above the orange life gauge. I'm not sure I understand your question. Long. We could clarify a little. Oh, do you mean on the
Hostile
enemies?
control point
Maybe?
detected.
Because that's the modifier. That's this thing. So you can go into here and activate that. But that, yeah, that activates the whole modifier system. And that's that. If it's something else, feel free to clarify. Well, yeah. Need to finish varieties. I should yeah, sometimes it goes like that. I mean, at worst case, it's like 20 minutes,
Reinforcements
so.
en route.
Ready for action.
Or, oh, you mean? Oh, okay, yeah, that's yeah, it's them saying it there. But yeah, the bonus armor is from. We can get that from the memento, and the permanent one I kind of have going is from the modifier. But you just mean the blue armor that I've kind of there then. And we're gonna spawn camp this.
Setting up a turret.
But that's basically bonus armor. It can come for a lot of places. Like a bunch of talons can provide bonus armor. For instance, Bloodsucker. But then here, especially my memento, whenever I pick these up, I get some bonus armor.
You're gonna die today.
But then also the modifier, whenever I take damage, including my shield, if I take enough, eventually I get some bonus armor. But that's from the modifier, for instance. And then you have things like Bloodsucker and Protector and Vanguard and System Corruption and a bunch of other things. Ooh, there's the line.
Take that.
Here we go. Good capture here as well. Do I want to complete anything else here? Not really, if I'm at the end of the thing anyway. Because that was a goal and we got it done. Getting all of the payday things on this account. There's also technically you don't even need, or actually no, there's a, I don't know. So, because even if I unlock this, I can't get it anyway, because I'm not gonna buy the event pass here. I did buy it on main account, of course, and then this ends in another day, so. But it's pretty easy to get if you haven't, played this season, especially for instance with this account, just doing those scouts.
We need reinforcements.
Let's go get cleaned up here. And unlikely we'll just round it out there, actually. I don't want to make it too late. Tomorrow I need to get up decently early and do a bunch of work stuff. Quite a lot of work stuff.
Thanks for the business.
And hopefully get some of the things I've been meaning to get back from my lawyer, and then if that does happen, I'm gonna do the this was that the blueprints for that. Actually, yeah, I should check how many blueprints I have now. That might be one thing worth doing on this account, is just going around and getting all the blueprints at some point and seeing what number we reach. That'll be just interesting to know. Nah. That was maybe a different fall.
I appreciate the trade.
Was there an instant? Oh, no. No. That's something went over here. Yeah, named cache over there. Let me also dump these because I kept one measured assembly piece for each of these. Doesn't matter which one. Just keep one of each. Because might towards the end of the season, if I just get bored, just run this account a little and get some of those things done. And thank you so much, Eternal there. And indeed, affiliate day. I got another rock and roll there, but yeah, I have plenty. So I'm not done with the blueprints, right? If this says blueprints reward. Yeah, crafting blueprint. I'm curious just which ones we're getting. Okay, so I got the SIG, I think, there, or the PDR. Oh, no, actually, yeah, with PDR. Although this account also I never finished the full list of the scent. I got Palisade there. This is, yeah, we got 6 pieces of measured. Oh, there's eminence armaments. Because, get away. It's gonna claim anything more here. Okay, I can get the backpack blueprint there. And is this just measured? Okay, so for 2Os as well, which on main account as well, I got there. Okay, they even tagged these correctly, and even the Umbra backpack there. Okay. Well, maybe we grind that out at some point on this account just to get all the blueprints. Would be maybe handy. It's not a lot there. Hang on to that. Let me just put it in the stash. Donate those two. So I could run that and just get it easily proficient. Let's put those two away as well. And yeah, let's actually just round it out there. I don't want to make it too late. We'll go Raiden on the Twitch end as we always do, of course. So stick around for that. Actually, you know what, let's have a peek at the category for a second. Because we have some regular suspects.
You have received an invite to a raid group.
Random raid group invite. Not seeing too many names that I'm like, let's go them. Let's just go a little, just easy peasy. Let me catch up on some of these last ones. What's your profession? I have to answer. I've answered that one before already. And also, yeah, the YouTube and Twitch, they, it's, yeah, I usually make more than I make off of them, even though it's you know, it's extra money. So, although if you're actually take the hours invested and divide it kind of by what I get, it's like euro per hour or something. So it's not much. But I work as a technician. I work as a sound and light technician for live stages. So, and mostly I just work for a venue nowadays, doing production and then working the floor here and there. Actually, this Thursday as well, actually, somebody had to cancel, so I'm taking their shift and I'll be away on Thursday. But I'll be just Thursday this time around, and I'll be around for the weekend and stuff. So, but yeah, let's start that raid already. Let's catch up on the last ones here. And yeah, need yeah, that's at least, you know. Although, well, there goes it. There's a lot of work in there as well. Man. You're fishing. Actually, nice. And yeah, good profession to have as well. Yeah, let's go raid over to Little Huge, who's doing Iron Horse. Is that Iron Horse? That looks like Iron Horse. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow, likely just in the evening. Tuesday, I might be able to jump on and be around for quite a bit during the whole day. But tomorrow we'll be back in the evening. We'll record again a little bit of parts for the Eclipse Masterclass, just a few more segments for it. And then, yeah, the rest of it, just get some last weeklies in or something and just, yeah, run around and farm some stuff. But yeah, that'll be for tomorrow. Thank you all for joining, and hope to catch you all in the future. And as always, have a good night.